Well, some new drama surrounding the Obama Presidential Center in Chicago. Amid all the fanfare of its opening last Friday, some subcontractors who helped build it claim they still have not been paid. The allegations hit especially hard because the massive construction project was supposed to help minority businesses and local firms lift their fortunes. But some say they're owed millions of dollars and are struggling to stay afloat.
I feel like an aluminum can that's been thrown in front of a steamroller. We're crushed. Just on our internals, the overall monies expended on this project have now reached nearly $4 million in the red. That's in totality over the last 5 years. That is a hole that no subcontractor, small business can survive. Financially, our reserves have been completely drained. We are barely getting by right now. Unfortunately, we're probably going to have to lay off union workers here in the short term so that we can regroup and lick our wounds and hopefully live to fight another day.
Fox News contributor James Freeman writes he didn't pay to build that. Add unhappy contractors to the list of locals disappointed with the new Obama Center. He joins us now. James, thanks very much for joining us this afternoon. The Obama Foundation says, they've settled up with the organization that's dealing with all the contractors here. But what did you learn in finding all of this out? And what's the status of this very large presidential library in Chicago?
Yeah, good question. And kudos having Mr. Owen in that interview. One of the reasons we're only hearing from him is because he wasn't bound by a non-disclosure agreement. Many of them were, many of the contractors. And as far as we know from the African American Contractors Association, there are a lot of small business people struggling, waiting to get their bills paid by the Obama Center. It's part of a really big question about this project. The former president, says it's his way of giving back to Chicago. And Chicago and the state of Illinois have certainly given him a lot, but it's not clear what he's giving back. This used to be public parkland, free, open to the public. He's now charging. So it's a private venture that was given a 99-year lease for $10 for 19 acres of land that it would be sold for millions per acre if you could even sell it. It was part of a historic park in the National Register of Historic Places. So it's kind of impossible to believe that any other project would have been able to execute this takeover of public land for essentially nothing. And then as a private venture, not a presidential library managed by the National Archives, but as a private venture, then charge people to visit.
Yeah, I've been to a ton of these presidential libraries, and they range from President Nixon's and basically his house. It's built adjacent to that. It's fairly understated. You've got an Air Force One in Simi Valley where President Ronald Reagan has his library. How is this library different from the dozens of others that Americans can go to?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people have criticized the design, saying it looks like a Klingon prison, et cetera. That's in the eye of the beholder. I think the question is the creation of this thing and the continuing liability. It was supposed to have a massive endowment because it's obviously, as you can see in the picture, a lot of land to take care of. They never raised that money, or maybe because the cost ended up being nearly 3 times what was originally forecast to build the project, maybe that's where the money went. But the point is that they really need that admissions revenue. Otherwise, the people in that neighborhood and the taxpayers of Chicago and Illinois are going to have a massive bill in the future to maintain this place. Also very different from other libraries. Why it had to be taking over a public park. I mean, ironically, while former President Obama was running a Netflix special about beautiful treasured parkland. I mean, it's almost amusing if it wasn't that takeover of public land. And there was a local conservationist called Protect Our Parks, which fought the project valiantly for years in court. The Obamas were able to beat them, and And now it sounds like the local contractors helping to build the thing are sort of the latest group of unhappy locals at this project.
Are there other concerns from neighbors? I mean, anytime you have a large project like this, there's always the concerns that values are going to shoot up, taxes will shoot up, you'll have traffic, you'll have all these other things that not necessarily everybody wants in their backyard, NIMBYism, if you will. Have those concerns been in this neighborhood in Chicago, or is it a welcome development?
Well, some people have criticized it because they think it's going to raise their rents in the neighborhood. I think if it actually does long-term create a lot of value there, I think you'd have to say it was a good thing for the city of Chicago and the South Side. But as I said, the endowment that was supposed to maintain this thing was never raised. So going forward, are people going to keep wanting to buy tickets for years and years into the future? And we should note, in terms of where is the benefit for the locals, there is a reduced price. So normally a person pays $30 to visit, $23 for kids. If you're an Illinois resident, you pay $26, $15 for kids. But in one of those beautiful ironies that Democrats seem to specialize in now, you need to present a valid ID to get the Illinois discount at the Obama Museum, even though you don't need to present one to vote in Illinois.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be a polling center, but, who knows? James Freeman, thanks so much for digging into this. And I, by the way, encourage you, go out and check out presidential libraries across the country. There's a lot of really cool ones out there. So, James, thank you so much.
Thanks, Rich.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.